moving. So if I'm moving to the near post, punch it back to where it came from. If I'm moving it into the back post, keep the ball going where it's going. However, that seems really simple. It seems easy and the principles are easy, but it becomes a little bit more difficult when you only feel comfortable to punch with one hand. So being able to punch with two hands, being able to punch with your dominant and then your non-dominant is going to be really important in your shot prevention. And then the ways that you guys can work on this is moving balls in the flank, and you're getting services from different areas, different types of services. You're maybe given an outcome where if you win possession, you're quickly trying to counterattack from that situation. But also just having a really good insight and being reflective right now, a really good insight in terms of, is protecting the goal area one of my super strengths? Okay, if it is, then I can take more risks in that area to protect the goal area. But if not, I've got to get a lot better at protecting the goal in that transition moment of backwards movement to defend the goal. So just having a clear idea of who you are, what your identity is in that scenario is going to be really, really helpful. The next task of a goalkeeper after we have defend the goal area, is defend the space behind the back line. Now, the biggest common errors are that goalkeepers vertically are way too deep. They're not staying as connected to their back line, or they drop too quickly. So imagine the ball's outside shooting range, OSR. That's what we call it, outside shooting range. If the ball's outside shooting range, then that means we want to be in a position that we can impact anything that's behind the back line. And maybe that doesn't even mean the ball is played. We just want to be in a position where maybe we just impact what the attacker on the ball is doing. So let's say a midfielder on opposition picks up the ball, they get their head up and they see me off my line in a central position, and they know, okay, I can't play that ball because the goalkeeper is going to come and get it. So maybe they, one, don't play the ball, or two, maybe they play the ball in behind the back line, but they play it into the wide channels, which is not as threatening. So the ball is moving away from the goal, and now it's giving my central players time to get back behind the ball. So simply by staying in a vertical position that's connected to my back line, I could influence what the opponent is going to do and potentially stop them from being able to play into the most dangerous area of the pitch, which is behind the center backs. The second common error that I see is that goalkeepers don't have a variety of different tools to solve problems behind their back line. So the clear and obvious choice to defend the space behind the back line, especially when you're outside your box, is to clear the ball in one touch. Clear and obvious, right? But there are other ways that you can solve it as well, which might give you a wide range of tools to be able to solve different problems. So what if the ball was bouncing? Are you capable of a volley? Are you capable of a header? Are you capable of a touch off of your chest past pressure? Or if the ball, you make a decision that was maybe a little hasty and you get caught, do you have the ability to emergency slide tackle? Do you have the wherewithal to make a diving header, potentially even outside the box? And then you can always touch past pressure if pressure is coming on really heavily, and you can use that momentum of the attacker against them in some scenarios. And the ways that you guys can get better with this in your off season is, one, be really intentional about the different types of goalkeepers that you're watching on a weekly basis. So just two goalkeepers in each gender, Emmy Martinez, Allison Becker, some of the most preventative goalkeepers that you can see behind back lines. They take up a vertical positioning that's high. They have a wide range of tools that they can solve problems. And on the women's side, Ann Katrin for Gotham, as well as Mandy McGlynn for the Utah Royals, two goalkeepers that play very close to their back line, comfortable solving that space and being as preventative as possible. The second thing that you guys can do in this off season, and this one is maybe a little bit more difficult and maybe more long-term, but you can start to work on your bravery. You can start to work on your mentality and your relationship to mistakes, because this is one of the hardest parts about goalkeeping. It is really difficult to replicate this in training on a regular basis. It's really difficult to emulate, the opponent's speed. I mean, for anybody in the NWSL, no one's replicating Shawinga's speed. So it's really hard to have those scenarios emerge in training and those solutions emerge in training. So a lot of it is done within your training games or your games on a weekly basis. So your relationship to mistakes is going to have to be really good, because being brave and preventative outside your box is one of the most difficult parts of the position. It's one of the most high risk. It's the most, if you make a mistake here, everybody knows it's your fault. So you have to be comfortable to explore those solutions, and you have to be comfortable enough to deal with whatever the consequences are in those moments. And the way you can work on that is having a clear identity of who you are and who you want to be when things get tough. Because your ceiling, this is one of my favorite things that I've been meditating on recently, is your ceiling is only ever going to be as high as your mentality allows it. And I'm going to say that one more time. Your ceiling is only as high as your mentality allows it to be. Because if you believe that there's no more improvement on the table for you, you're kind of going to be stuck with who you are right now. But if you believe that you can improve in certain areas, whether it's the physical speed side or the recognition of the triggers and the cues or the decision-making side, you can improve in that if your mindset allows you to be. All right, we got two more. We're going to go with the easy one, the beach ball first, which is communication. And the common errors that we see in that are goalkeepers only talking when it's non-urgent. So when the ball is in the attacking third and they're telling the players on the ball what to do, when in fact you despise when your teammates tell you to come out and win possession of the ball. You do not like people telling you what to do in terms of when to come out and when to stay. So you telling your teammate to shoot is not really that helpful. You can communicate, though, some countermeasures. So if you have two full backs that want to get high up into the attack and the ball's in the attacking third, you can have a 6 drop in potentially, or you can have one of them rotate back and one get high. You want to organize your defense that if the opponent were to get a ball in transition, that your team would be safe and would be secure in those moments. So we can communicate certainly that when the ball's in the attacking third, but we want to be communicating when we have influence and when we have authority in the game. So when the ball is inside shooting range and someone has time and space, we step so-and-so, no shot. We're communicating what our needs are in that moment to make sure that we limit the opponent's opportunities to score. We also could be communicating when we're coming out for the ball, keeper or away. That's going to be really helpful because ultimately, as goalkeepers, we are the deciders. We are the ones who make the decision. Are you coming out or are you staying? And that decision impacts every other person on the field. So if I'm coming out to yell keeper and come out for the ball, my defender's job is to seal off the opponent and create a space for me to come and win the ball. If I say away, the defender's job is then to go and win the ball. So the defenders aren't sure what to do until you tell them what you're doing. And everything they do is based off of what you are doing. So we want to communicate really clearly and as early as possible in those moments to make sure that everybody has an idea and is on the same page. All right, you guys, the last one we're going to talk about today is supporting the attack. And I think that the most common errors that I see in supporting the attack are goalkeepers just kicking it long anytime they're under pressure. Now, is that what's demanded of them in some circumstances? I'm sure, yeah. You can't solve everything by taking a touch or moving or asking for the ball into space to solve it. Sometimes we just have to put a ball into a certain area of the field and say, there was such high pressure, I couldn't solve it any other way, but I'm going to intentionally put it into an area of the field where we have numbers advantage, we have speed advantage, where we have a height advantage, some type of situation to relieve that pressure. So I think the other common error is that we get goalkeepers thinking that you always have to play, insert pass here. You always have to play short. You always have to play long. You always have to change the point of attack. You don't always have to do any of those things. And actually, your job is to try to find the highest value pass that's available to you. And what will dictate value is the context of the game. Is your team winning? Is your team losing? Does your team have a speedy player down the side who is an absolute X factor off the run and into space? Do you have a tight, technical, tidy player that you can play under whatever amounts of pressure, right? It's not just about playing. You always have to do this. You always have to change the point of attack. You always have to switch fields, or you always have to play short. No, it's about you scanning to find what is the.
I just looked up. Yeah. All right, we're starting now.
Oh my God. Okay. Welcome to Inside the 18. I am Michael Magid. I will be your host that understands how to press the button, record.
Boo. I'm booing you, Michael. I'm booing you for that one.
With me is the one and only host of Gloves Off, Bill Reno, who also did not recognize that we had not started recording 15 minutes ago. And joining us.
No way. It's not. I'm not taking this one. Not me.
Joining us are people that are very, very tech savvy. The one and only Saskia Weber, 99 World Cup winner, who's definitely a little biased on who GKU is. And of course, the Keeper Institute's Tori Corsaro, who, to be fair to her, wasn't supposed to be paying attention whether we press the red record button.
I think
flashing in front of me.
I think Tori's got an argument that TKI is actually GKU. To be honest with you,
an argument. You're going to see a lot of names. Yeah.
If we could start a college, I think Jill would do it. So
yeah, I think if we ever half the players on this list went to TKI at some point. So.
I see a lot of familiar names.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I will tell you guys this right now, in regards to the whole GKU and TKI being a school, the amount of schools that Bill Reno had in this bracket, because I think there's 64 teams here, I was pretty sure the Keeper Institute was going to be one of the universities on there. Because there may be goalkeepers that have came through TKI.
But they would have won. It wouldn't even have been a conversation.
No.
Like, it would have been like, oh, okay. So, game over. So...
Now, how does that work exactly? Can you enter the portal to join TKI?
Can we compete with a team full of goalkeepers?
Yeah.
I don't know. Some goalkeepers think they're attackers, so you never really know.
To be fair, though, Tori, there is TKIU. There is actually a TKI university.
There is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There is. Why don't you break down a little bit what TKI University is for people who out there who are not familiar with it, who may not have heard all the wonderful stuff you guys got going there?
Yeah, so TKI University is one of Jill's brainchildren. She's been doing it for a few years now, and she's actually thrown over the reins to me and Cam. Cam's going to do a West Coast class because she's out in Washington now, and I'm going to hold down the fort with the East Coast class, and then we have Dr. Cristiano Ogunsami, who will meet with the group once a month to do sports psych and kind of how the mental part of the game falls in within, especially goalkeeping, but soccer in general. We meet a couple times a month. One time will be like directly to go over different things, kind of held like a lecture. And then another time is more of an office hours type vibe where you can come in with individual clips, or if you don't, I and Cam will have something individually to talk about. And it could be anything from the mental side, the physical side, tack, whatever, but essentially it's just an opportunity to learn and grow in a different way that's not on the pitch, especially if you don't have the ability to maybe come and learn and grow with us here at the facility.
That's awesome.
I was just about to say, Tori, what GPA do you need to maintain in order to be eligible for the TKIU team?
No grades. There's no grades.
Wow.
Mostly because I
Bill,
can't
didn't that sound like a legit school? That sounded like a legit school.
Tori, I can't spell either.
Yeah.
I can't. No, I really can't. I totally can't spell. So
I'm creative. I'm not a good speller or mathematician.
I know what I've written. You just might not.
Yeah. You get it.
I guess. So I don't like when anybody looks at my boards before, like for a game when I'm sitting there, because like half of it's misspelled.
But you know what Saskia Weber did learn in university, and that is goalkeeping at Rutgers University, yes. Right over there. Which
I maintained my GPA, and I was a psych major, and at Rutgers. So all right, bring it.
Yeah. So Bill, why don't you break down kind of first off the foundation of this whole project, like what was the genesis of it, and how it goes about.
Yeah, well, I think I remember originally hearing that. I think it was Miami that's tied in U, and there's other universities that have been tied to certain positions in certain sports of like, hey, this position gets developed really well at this school, and they'll churn talent. So I was trying to think of like, okay, goalkeeping U, and something I've kind of had half discussions over the years of just like, oh, what do you think this is? And I said, you know what, let's hash it out. So I've built a bracket. I had to go through hundreds of goalkeepers, and I have boiled it down as much as I could to make this as condensed as possible. And we're going to hash it out today. Biases included. We're going to try to figure out which
What are you talking about?
Yeah, which university has the best claim for goalkeeper U? And let me go ahead and just jump into the kind of process here. I know we can kind of talk about some of the smaller details on what we think this was at. And I think that'll come up just naturally in our conversation here. But okay. So real quick, this is what we're looking at. Who is goalkeeper U, or what is goalkeeper U? So I've got 64 schools here, and I've pulled their best 7 goalkeepers. That's open for debate. If someone wants to suggest that we add or remove someone, I'm open for it.
Like we're going to tell you to remove someone.
What if you got 7? Right? So there's a tight 7. So honorable mentions, whatever. But like you're comparing the best 7 from school to school, and this is at any point in the school, so past or present. The one rule that I did as far as listing names is I only listed a goalkeeper that was where they finished, where they transferred. I try to put in some places of put some notes of hey, this player transferred. But knowing that some of these transfers were a little contentious on why they left, I just kind of drew a hard line on that. So as we're voting, someone might take into account that someone was at one school or another. That's fine. But that's just how I've drawn this up here. But we're going to face them off here in the big bracket while kind of live update the bracket. But last things, as far as on my end, if there are any typos or outdated names or wrong graduation dates, or if you just feel like your bio is a little limited as a viewer or whoever, you can blame me. That's on me. There are 448 goalkeepers that will be named today. I do not have a full bio on all of them. I apologize if that's your friend or relative, or it's you personally, or you didn't make the cut. I'm sorry. We had to make some calls on this. So
I just realized what AA means. Thanks.
Yeah, very good, very good. So I'll show the bracket to start.
Saskia, you were in a program in 1992. That's what was.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that
no, it means all American. I just realized.
I know.
Okay.
So that was an award. Yeah. So this was the point system used to seed teams. This is I tallied up every school's point total. It's just how I did it. Don't overthink it. The last 4 schools that were out that are not included, I wanted to give shout outs to Hartford and Cortland State that are not D1 programs anymore, but have had some good goalkeepers come through. Dartmouth, I believe, is the only school that didn't make the cut that had a national team player come through. Bit of a drop off after Luck and Bill, but just want to give a shout out. And Ole Miss as well did not quite make the cut. So last 4 out here. So this will be the bracket. We'll kind of go through this.
But did Notre Dame make it? Because we want to make sure that they don't just contact us.
Yeah.
complaining.
They don't want to play anymore. They're out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
They got that 1 seed. They're in. So we'll do groups of 4.
Good one, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah. I still remember how to do this.
Good. So we'll do groups of 4 here. So the first one, we'll start at the top left. UNC, Arkansas, Illinois, Washington. So again, very limited bios here. I've kind of color coded. If it's green, it means they were an All-American at some point. If it was yellow, it means they won a championship. And if it's not those colors,
There's none of those on Rutgers. So go ahead.
Yeah. But this is our opening round. So we're gonna do groups of 4. So we're just picking one. We're just picking one school from this. I'll live update the bracket, but I don't think we need to belabor this one too much. But
but I think the key to this is, because I'm just gonna interject, is if people are thinking, well, how can you pick, let's say hypothetically, how can you pick a UNC over Washington because you have Hope Solo or something like that? And, because not just one person's going to carry a school, in my opinion. I think, it's got to be multiple goalkeepers. And maybe you have multiple goalkeepers that none of them won a world championship, but their careers, Siri, you have Ashlyn Harris. I mean, okay, it's obvious who won this bracket, but I think, I like we said, this is goalkeeper U, so it's the 7 players. What's the strongest? That's my opinion.
Fair.
Go ahead, Tori.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to be a culmination of work. It can't just be an outlier within. But again, it's not to say that there's an outlier, right? There's multiple good goalkeepers listed for all of these schools. And yeah, sure, okay, you look at Washington, Hope Solo is the one, she's highlighted green. She has probably like the longest career in there, but there's also very good goalkeepers in there.
Mhm.
But I think when you look at UNC, it's touted for all of them. Like everyone's colored in there, everyone's got like something listed in there. So I think this one does kind of speak for itself a little bit.
I think I was talking to Bill and Mike before you had jumped on. I have a hard one with you. I have a hard one with UNC in a sense. I think as we get deeper into this, it'd be interesting to see if they were to win out, because back when some of these players played, and I'm sure Tracy is going to, probably maybe argue, but they were just so dominant, what I mean? So you're looking at, winning all those national championships, and soccer was still building in the college game. There was no place to play for afterwards, really, like we had talked about. So I think and I made this comment, 10 saves a season, you know what I mean? And
100%.
And so that's not taking away. Look, Siri Mullenix, Ashland's the next further along in the generation. Tracy Noonan, Shelley, those players. I think it was a different time then with such a dominant team. So that's not taking away their goalkeeper. They were great goalkeepers, obviously. And but I think it'll be interesting as we go deeper how that'll affect things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you're going to start seeing some of these schools that have like across all 7, really push envelope. Just a little bit of a disclaimer as well. All these goalkeepers, obviously, again, like Tori noted,
and of course, Claudia Dickey.
Yeah. All these goalkeepers very talented, and I could have put one all conference or has most shutouts, but effectively all these goalkeepers kind of did something along those. So I was really trying to boil down to hey, what are the big things here? So I at least got the graduation dates for the most part, I think, accurate. But we're going to give you the win here. If we want to give an honorable mention at some point,
Bill, if somebody contacts you and goes hey, I graduated in 89 instead of 88, and that was their issue, can you just tell them no? I just did this without sleeping.
I think the honorable mention goes to Washington.
Okay.
Yeah,
a few pros come out of there, which is good. Yeah. Okay. We'll chart that. All right. So next one here. This is the 4, 5, 12, and 13 seed. Live up in there. And I think as we kind of move through that, I think the 1 seeds will probably roll here, but some of these schools are really tough, because I think Wake Forest is a good example where they've had some really notable keepers, but you start going down the list and we start getting a little foggy on these. And so we've got, I don't know, I think 4 schools that are really interesting here. Where the top is pretty high for a lot of these, but then as it kind of moves down, that's a tough call for me as far as we thinking of goalkeeper U applies there.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting that you when you look at this list right here. I mean, I still think it probably it does Wake Forest. I mean, I think you do have to take into account Nebraska. I mean, does have
KK.
On the list right there, and I think, but again, like Tori was saying, it's not about a one outlier, and I'm not saying that was an outlier at Nebraska type of a thing, because obviously there's a lot of solid goalkeepers here too.
Mm-hmm.
But does one international level, who not only was not only a generational goalkeeper, but has also been involved so heavily in the game on the executive side now, and is still affecting the game.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make a difference? Does that bring something to the table that that another one doesn't? I mean, obviously, Wake Forest has Kingsbury on the list too. You're talking recency bias, but there's basically national teamers everywhere. It's crazy. Sabrina. Oh.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wake Forest takes it. Sorry, KK.
Tori?
I think I have an unpopular opinion, and it could be my bias, but I think South Carolina.
Okay.
I was leaning
Mick,
South Carolina a little bit.
And I mean, Mick is done with her professional career now, but she's in the coaching realm. But again, Final Four appearances, really good career, Heather, really solid career for like 2 or 3 years. I think she played after Mick graduated, and she's still now playing in Australia. So for me, I think I'm leaning towards South Carolina.
I'll defer. I'll defer. So I guess I'll say South Carolina wins.
Give honorable mention to Wake there.
Wait, yeah. Okay.
All right, moving through here. All right, next one up. This is Santa Clara is the 2 seed here. The school has done very, very well. Oh, oops, sorry, I have a wrong school on this.
Cal Poly has nobody who's ever played goalkeeper there, apparently.
Yeah,
nobody's ever played slow. That's slow.
Poly is out. I think.
Why did you put them in? Why didn't you put one of the other ones?
I removed them that last second. It's Princeton, not Cal Poly. Yeah, sorry here. Okay, I apologize to all my Cal Poly fans. Okay, here we go. Princeton's in.
Princeton, got it.
So Santa Clara's the 2 seed here. I did think it was funny that Michigan State had 2 All-American award winners on this. Kaylin Park is playing with Sporting Jacksonville right now. Transferred out of Wake, so another lost Wake there. Santa Clara has had a lot of success in the 90s, and they've been into pros recently. They
won the NCAA a couple years ago. You mean success with the keepers themselves? Yeah,
but at Santa Clara in the late '90s, it was every youth national team goalkeeper was basically going.
Yeah,
I think but it was when Bianca was like U17s, like I think it was a toss up between her and between Santa Clara and North Carolina for her to go there, and it was like that's the type of running they were in back then. Melissa, there's Santa Clara. Again, body of work overall over the years, and a lot of this just has to do with when these programs were really powerful programs too. So, but you're right, Santa Clara did have that kind of that uprising, return again.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Move along.
Oh,
okay. No. Oh, but I want to bring up something, and I want to see how everybody else feels about this.
Right.
Bill, I've got a little gripe here in regards to graduate students, because I don't know if they should really be considered developed at that university, because you're like 30 and you're just like, I'm getting my PhD. I still want to play soccer.
No, I disagree.
You do? Okay.
I disagree, because you don't know, like, okay, take who were we talking about before? Ryan, right? So Ryan was number 2 at Stanford for a while, and I think you get developed. You have to develop when you go to a new team. Like, you have to, new systems, new coaches, different style play, different. What's put on you? What if we build out of the back more? What if we weren't asking you for that? Now you have to develop that style in you. I don't think you could say they didn't develop at the university they changed over to. I don't think that's fair to the goalkeeper coach.
Okay.
I mean, yes, you come in with a body of work, but you have to adapt to your new team.
Well, I think that's more of an issue on the men's side, to be fair. Very few goalkeepers playing at 24, 25 on the women's side. Like, it happens, but it's pretty rare. So
I'm mainly talking about a lot of the goalkeepers who, when they have a year of eligibility left, they graduated from a university and then they go on for their
Well, you could take whatchamacallit, Texas Tech, when we get to it. We'll get to it. I'll bring it up again. I'll bring it up again.
All right.
I forgot about Texas A&M too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving.
All right, we'll go with Santa Clara.
Okay, sorry. We're gonna be here forever. So.
Yeah. All right.
My bad.
So Colorado College is a really tricky one. So they get a pretty high seed here.
Janine.
Yep, they're good. But obviously,
you're like, Tori's like, who is that? I'm like, that's old school. That's 85er.
Yeah.
Like,
Janine Esparza?
Sapara.
Okay.
Wasn't that U.S. national team?
Yep.
Everything.
Yeah. So and also played. So
She's
you may
a
know.
beast.
So played in Wusa, which is like way after. Like I think she was the oldest player when she was at the Cyber Race.
Mm.
Yeah, well, a four-time first-team All-American. But as you may notice, didn't quite match that. Colorado College as a whole did not really stay competitive.
No, they dropped off. Yeah.
So they get a 3 seed because they scored a lot of points, but obviously this one gets a little tricky because you've got Michigan that didn't quite have the collegiate success, but you're looking at 4 pros there. Ohio State put out some very Molly Pitcher just won All-American. Harvard as well has put out some very good goalkeepers. So this one, I think I'm leaning Michigan a little bit on this, but I think Ohio State's got a good case for this. I don't think I can do Colorado College. Sorry.
No, it was just seeing Janine's name up there. It's just a blast from the past.
I personally say Michigan. I think kind of gets this in my opinion. I don't know, Tori, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to defer a little bit just because some of these keepers I don't know that well.
Yeah, I think this is one of the cases of where it's tough, right? Like you look at Colorado College and you're like, okay, like if we're going by the fact that there's all Americans, but at the same time, like have they stayed on that? Like I think there almost has to be a consistency, like through time, or at least through a time period. Like, okay, maybe they're not running the show in the last 5 years, but like, wow, they were really producing in the 10 years before that. So if we're looking at total body of work, I think I go Michigan as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a great point, Tori, because yes, you had like, okay, an 85 to 80, whatever. You're like, okay, we had some good goalkeepers, but if it's been nothing since then you can't call yourself goalkeeper you.
Yeah.
Like you have to at least have something, in my opinion, in every decade.
That's a good point.
I think that's a good way to look at it. Like, okay, yes, you had it in the 80s, maybe in the 90s, if you didn't play, but 90s, so on and so forth. So if you have something in every decade then that's a body of work.
Yep. It's such a great point, because I think when it comes to goalkeeper you, for me, it has to be somewhere where, like, when kids are being recruited, that's a selling point to want to attend that university. It's like they are known for developing goalkeepers, and there's been a consistency of goalkeepers coming out of there.
Well, you use Miami as a wide receiver, or whatever. Like you can go back and back and back and back, decades and decades,
right?
And still wide receivers from Miami. So I think that's my criteria here.
Congratulations on Miami on not winning the ACC, but still getting to the college football playoffs. Anyway, let's not get into that.
You're all about football today.
You're American football.
I just think it's just funny because there's like so much griping going on. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, could you imagine like Duke like winning the ACC in like the women's college soccer NCAA tournament, like brackets, and like not getting into the tournament? Like, it's insanity. But anyway. That's college football.
Oh, here we go. This looks like a good one.
I just went. Michigan moves on with a 14 seed, just for the bracket buster there for you. Penn State's the 1 seed here. A lot of talented goalkeepers, obviously through the year. Some of these names, like even the latter ones, like obviously did some very talented things. So Casman and Amanda Dennis, like. If that's your 6-7, I mean, that's a good group. Aaron McLeod transferred out of SMU, and that one was like probably one of the more harsher transfer leaves. So like hard to credit SMU with that one because Aaron wants nothing to do with them. But a good group of schools here, I would say. But I think. I mean, I don't know. Penn State's kind of hard to top here on this.
Yeah, and I think this goes into what we're talking about. Like, there's some good keepers here, but I think it goes into the depth of it.
Yeah.
And kids always bring up Penn State. Like that's like one always like on top on their list, goalkeeper, when I'm talking to kids, and they go, "Sorry, we've already got our 32s." Lined up.
It's a good thing we're not putting like goalkeeper coaches' names up here. It'd be like, oops.
There's enough turnover. There's enough turnover in that, though. I mean,
I don't know how Penn State's football team did this year, but they are pushing through here. So the 1 seed survived. All right, another tricky one here. So UMass obviously, and I couldn't remember, but I'm pretty sure DeSantis actually was an alternate at the '91 World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. But got to the final, very talented goalkeeper in her own right. But obviously, again,
for those of you guys who don't know, Bill Reno is 72 years old.
DeSantis?
So
Carla. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Carla was in camp. I don't want to say that's how old I am, people. I was in college at this time, but Carla was in camp. She wasn't top 3.
Yeah, that's I think she was in camp, and I think she
didn't travel. She didn't travel. No, because you had Amy, you had Maz, and then you had Harvey. So right, Amy, Maz, and Harvey. Yeah. So good goalkeeper though.
I couldn't, and I'm sorry if I missed this. I don't think BYU's put out a pro. I could be wrong in that. But I think UVA is the pick here. I really like watching. I really loved watching Fitzgerald this year. I was really bummed to hear about the injury. I think she's TKI. Tori, is that right?
Who?
Fitzgerald, Kira.
Oh yeah, Kira. Yeah, she did. She hurt her knee. Like early on in the season.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, UMass drops off.
Yeah.
I mean, UMass drops off after Bry. So they've been a non-factor. They haven't developed anything. So sorry. I mean, no nod. I'm not nodding to like Dion and Walker and stuff like that. But like, I think this is where you have one of those ebbs. So.
Mm-hmm. And I think again, Virginia, that's another name where
UVA.
Yeah. I mean, but I think that's just, again, it's another name where kids, when they want to go to a goalkeeper camp or they want to, college ID camp, or they're looking at schools that are, goalkeepers are going on to do things like it's a name that I always see on kids' lists. So.
All right.
UVA, is that what we're going with?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. You mentioned Texas Tech earlier.
Oh, because I was giving an example of Faith and leaving UCLA, transferring. And I don't think that, she was one of mine for a year. And I think she had that year struggled to find her footing. And then even, under good goalkeeper coaches, even like I'm not tooting my own horn, but then after, she ends up transferring, started, in the tournament, and starting for them. And I think that her development at UCLA, I think she's developed more watching her play, although, that high ball from distance we could talk about. But I think that's an example of she developed more once she got to Texas Tech. That's my point. So that goes back to what we were talking about.
Yeah,
so, that's all.
Fair.
That's an interesting point, Saskia, and I actually never even thought about that, is that if you have goalkeepers that, because the depth is so deep at certain schools, that means that they are a goalkeeper because that means that there's so many good goalkeepers that can't even make it onto the field there.
Well, I mean, you can look at Ryan. You looked at one point who was all at UCLA. So you looked at Ryan was there. You had
Purcell, was she there?
Yeah, you had Niku come in. You had Faith there. So you had this depth chart of goalkeepers, and even at one point when Niku came in, Brisky was there. So like you're sitting here with this depth chart. So yeah, you're gonna leave. You got to play. We all know goalkeepers have to play. So that's a good. Yeah, I think obviously UCLA takes this. I think it's a no-brainer.
Tori, any other?
Yeah.
And you agree? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and Tegan is now so happy that she's playing, in England now and stuff, but, went on to play, had a great pro in Australia and, with the Australian national team and stuff. So, hey!
Just really quickly, Bill, can just go back right there. Just want the audience to see this right here, because we are running into a situation here where some of these goalkeepers, like Val Henderson, I mean, like the fact that she she kind of is stuck in that lost generation where like there wasn't really a place for her to play after she was done playing. So who's to say that Val Henderson wouldn't have gone on to become a top NWSL goalkeeper if that NWSL had even existed?
Well,
Right.
she fell into that in between space. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the WSA shut down.
I tried to kind of like think of like, all right, what was the actual level? Tori made a good point of just like of the time and how good they were for the time.
And so for people out there also, I just wanted you to know, oh, well, you know, there were some European leagues and stuff, so why not go play pro over there? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you're a goalkeeper. And when you go to play in Europe, they only have a certain amount of foreign player spots. And a lot of those spots don't go to goalkeepers. They go to field players. And so even for me, when I went to Japan, we had this massive tryout in Virginia and stuff, and they wanted field players. And I didn't make that tryout. Then I got a call. That's one of the field players that they had picked. I think I want to say it was like Justy or somebody said they didn't want to go to Japan. And they were like, okay, we're going to bring a goalkeeper in. So it's even harder to go pro as a goalkeeper. And at that time, with limited places to go, you couldn't have been like, well, I'll just go play in Sweden. You know, it didn't work that way, you know?
Yeah.
And then ignore the part about like uprooting your life, the financial compensation,
which you weren't getting paid a dime, basically. I mean, Japan, the reason most people went to Japan because it paid the best. And it was like all you had to do was play pro. Right. Where other places you had a job on the side or whatever, you know, so yeah.
And I, you know, I mean, that brings up a point in regards to like some of the names when you're talking about those, you know, those breaks in between when WUSA, you know, shut down and then NWSL, you know, kind of reemerged right there, is that there's probably a computer engineer out there or a lawyer out there, you know, that could have been an NWSL goalkeeper of the year. And they just, there was no reason
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you had some people that balance both. So you have like a Ronnie Fair, that's like the best, you know, one of the best surgeons in the country, and she got to play pro as well. But there was no longevity in that if she wanted, and there was no sustainable money. So you lost a lot of players because of that. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to
like the longest podcast ever.
I know.
Hey, we're coming up on halfway. I want to give a quick shout out to NC State. Really enjoyed their goalkeeping over the years, especially this last 5
Kat Mertz.
Yep.
Where's Kat? There she is.
There you go.
I coached Kat.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. I thought you were just.
I coached for a hot second when I lived in North Carolina. I coached Kat.
Okay. Yeah, I think that one's a tough group for sure. I think it's UCLA, but yeah, we
look at this. Look at this useless group.
This is the group right here. Yeah. Now I did put some current goalkeepers in. So as you might see for Rutgers, we have Olivia Bodmer there. I think it is done well. But I think this is a tough. I think this might.
You put me in a tough bracket.
Yeah, you did.
You did. The best to win. You know, you got to beat the best to win.
In another bracket, you would have made it right through.
Yeah. Well, why could I you're killing me.
I'm so sorry to say this, but I think Clemson wins this bracket.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Clemson's going through, and partially because, although I will argue in the sense of when I was talking about decades, if you look at the dates, we've had like a solid goalkeeper come out like every decade. But are you rah-rah? I love you, Rutgers, but Clemson wins. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Honestly.
It's like a group of death here, Bill. What you do?
Yeah, it is a tough one.
You got like a former goalkeeper. You got a former world goalkeeper of the year at USF. Like you've got I
should have checked again on this.
You've got literally arguably the best goalkeeper in the world on here for Clemson, Kate Sharon, and I'm like sitting here like, what the? Thanks, Bill. Like, couldn't I have been in the Colorado College bracket?
Could have gone there. All right, we're hitting the halfway spot here. We're doing well. We're moving good here, but a tough
rigged.
Three very good.
Somebody's going to contact the committee, aren't they? They're going to contact the committee.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing anymore.
Reno. All right, we're going to the other side of the bracket here. Stanford's got the 1 seed. That is a stacked lineup, and I didn't even put in. I'm blanking on it. Forgive me. The freshman that just started in the championship. I didn't even make her. I didn't put her in the final 7 here. She didn't make the cut, which you could have easily made an argument for. Haley Craig has been in some pro camps.
Yeah, but who do you take out for her?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough.
Like, I'm not trying to be mean because she's got a huge career ahead of her. But look at this body of work right here. All these 7 goalkeepers. I can. Casual NCAA college soccer fans know all these names. Like, that's how stacked this is.
Yeah, and I think I think it's a no-brainer. Stanford goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Rolling, easy. All right, UConn gets a lot of points as the 4 seed here for a lot of. They have a very strong program in the 80s.
Yes, and the 90s.
And then the 90s, yeah. But I think their top goalkeeper obviously is LaVey, Canadian national team goalkeeper. But you've also have Mary Harvey, very talented goalkeeper. Belle Bixby has been in camps. Baylor's probably the one that's a little bit set behind, but I loved watching this when she was over in Sweden. Very talented goalkeeper. But I think this is a tough group? Question mark.
It is a tough group.
I don't think it's that tough. I think Cal again.
Quick to Cal. Yeah, I mean that's a strong 7.
Because you've got different generations right there at Cal. That's just showing longevity. I mean, my gosh, that goalkeeper coach has been there for what? 40 years.
Yeah, UConn. Although they are having a resurgence, I would say, playing better in the past couple of years as a team. But if you go over decades, then I would say you're I don't know, Cal. I don't know, Cal. Because you got Harvey, Anderson, Boyd, Harris. This hard one for me.
I mean, you've got, I don't know. I don't think Paris went on, obviously, a different time in the late 80s, but you've got 6 pros. Well, she'll go pro, but you've got 5 plus 1 future pro there. I mean,
yeah. Okay, Cal.
Tori?
I'll go Cal.
Cal?
You'll go Cal? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, pretty good.
Poor Baylor. No one even mentioned Baylor.
Hey, it's okay. They're up there. They made the list. Some people didn't even make the list.
Hey, you had two Bears in the same bracket. Look at that.
Oh,
yeah.
That was random.
Okay. George Mason has been hot with the 2 seed, but have not really done anything in the last.
That is all 80s and 90s.
Yep.
And so what takes me back, Tori, is the landscape of soccer, women's soccer in college is so different than when I played soccer. Like the East Coast was, other than Stanford, UCLA didn't even have a team. Like, the schools that are powerhouses now didn't even exist with teams. It was East Coast and the South, and not even the South. So like Florida, nothing, and you're looking at George Mason, you're looking at William and Mary, which I'm pretty sure isn't even on this list. They were all powerhouses, UMass, UConn, everything. So.
Yeah, William and Mary did not make the cut. Sorry. But for all those reasons.
Is it because all those schools were around the Soccer Plus camps in that regional area? They were all, and everybody was a Soccer Plus?
I think you just had soccer was just bigger in certain areas. I mean, soccer was big with ODP across the country, but I think it's like lacrosse. It almost felt like it was to me. It was like, it was more of an East Coast thing, and you had splinter schools elsewhere. Like Stanford, that was the school. Well, I'm sorry, Cal, Stanford, and Santa Clara. But like I said, UCLA didn't even have a team.
Yeah. I would say here for me, it's either TCU or Syracuse, just because George Mason hasn't done anything in a while in the goalkeeping department. Sorry, and I think TCU's limited relevance. I mean, they've had some very good goalkeepers this last 10, 15 years, but before that, I think there's a bit of a drop. Whereas Syracuse, kind of a similar boat. I'd probably lean TCU just a little bit. But I think those are the two that comes down for me.
I think the thing with TCA is they're more. I mean, yeah.
They also don't have Katie Lund listed, who did transfer to Arkansas. So take it or leave it.
This one's hard for me too. Like, and even in general, it's hard not to consider like the team success, but team success really doesn't necessarily always speak volumes for goalkeepers too, because like going back, I think this might have been in our first rendition before we were recording, but we talked about UNC. Like some of those goalkeepers might not have been super tested. So if they have a 10 save season, but you know, they saved all those and they didn't face that many. It's like, okay, well, their body of work individually wasn't all that great. But I think on some of these, like these teams, like I know, and no shade to anybody, right? I just play some of these teams in our conference. So like I know what their record was the last few years, or like even Syracuse, they've had a few seasons where they haven't done great in the ACC. So it's hard sometimes to separate the goalkeepers from that, even though as a goalkeeper person, I know that like team record doesn't necessarily reflect like goalkeeper performance.
This is hard for me, you guys, because maybe it's also because I don't know some of the goalkeepers. So going to what Tori, but for me to look at Jamie, Kim Maslin, Jen Mead, and Sky Eddy and Linda Hillbreath, like I'm sitting here just like those were the goalkeepers of the time. And when you look of the 80s, of the 90s, they were the goalkeepers. And so, yes, George Mason has dropped off. But then the argument is some of these were non-existent before. So it's like,
right.
So I'm actually going to say because of that, I'm sticking with George Mason. I'm out of this bracket, I'm sticking with George Mason.
I mean, they've got 20 apps between them. I mean, yeah, that's not nothing.
That's what I'm going with, just because I can see the argument both sides. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
like Syracuse. Okay, you had, where were you before that? Like stuff like that, So I don't know. Those are my friends, so I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna go.
Hit the bias.
I'm gonna be biased on this one.
There was a disclaimer about the biases, so it's fine.
That's why we're doing this.
I mean, if only we could move like. If only like Lise, Kat, and Emily could all be at the same school, then we'd have an argument right there, type of a thing. But like, I love what Saskia said there in regards to like at least having because I think Tori said this. She says, well, if there's a time period where they dominated, then that shows a consistency, and like that should be counted for something. Maybe kind of fun to see this older group go up against a younger group and see.
Yeah, I think we send Mason through.
Let's do it. Let's do a modern day upset.
There we go.
Yeah. Love it.
Just let them know they can't pick up.
And by the way, Eddie transferred from UMass.
That's right. So. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because Bride came in.
Now, if Rutgers was in this group, Rutgers would have won this group. So
yes, because decades.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. UCF comes in.
This might have to be like a 2-part podcast.
We
might be.
Our last, now we can do this a couple of ways. We got 10 more to roll through here, and that went all the way through. So we can either call it after the first rounds we pause it on, but up to y'all.
I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be interesting to get through the first round and see what viewers have to say.
Okay.
See,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
And then if we come back with some viewer comments and like why didn't Rutgers go through?
From all your fake accounts, it's gonna be you, right? Rutgers.
Pulling the Kevin Durant with the burner accounts.
And then we can come back and do the final blow through. That's what I just think. Okay.
All right, so let's do this. We got 5 more in the first round, so we'll run through that. We'll take a look at the bracket and we'll pause there.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. UCF. You talk about decades.
Yeah. Jesus.
I think Georgia has had some goalkeepers through the years as well. Jordan Brown sent out this year, I think, with ACL. I think this is UCF, right?
Yeah, it's UCF.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
All right, this one might be also another quick call on this one here.
Man, the South really dominates, huh?
Sporting culture.
Yeah, I think it's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes, Notre Dame.
Okay, Notre Dame. All right, we're gonna run through these. All right, last 3 here. Might go kind of quick. All right, Portland comes in as the 4 seed.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
This one's probably a little trickier. I think Duke, you think of Duke as like a big name, but the goalkeeping, they've had some very good goalkeepers, but probably not as the depth, I think, as that matches the brand. Whereas like Portland, you probably don't think of like goalkeepers a ton, but obviously through the 90s and 2000s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at names. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Portland,
It's very nostalgic for me.
WCC was where it was at in the early 2000s. Like
Portland,
really
but
was.
Portland won national championships back in late 90s, middle 90s, because they had what? Portland had Shannon McMillan, Tiffany Milbritt. So they were solid, you know. I mean, I think we go with Portland. I don't know.
Tori?
I feel good with Portland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Defer.
Portland's good.
Sorry, Duke. You still don't get in.
Still not good.
Oh.
Fair effort. Last 2 here. Okay. Again, I think this one might be. I will say Georgetown's been a little quiet.
Okay, I just want to give a quick shout out right now to O'Kane, who played a phenomenal final yesterday to win the College Cup, and she's a freshman. And some of the saves, the positioning, like that game was 100%. They should not have won that game. Like,
Yeah, she kept him in it.
She kept them in it, big time. So half off, Katie. Good job. Just wanted to say that. Give a shout out.
Well deserved. That was a fun game to watch. Honestly,
it was, wasn't it?
If you watch the first, I would even go as far to say, like, the first half, you're like, okay, I think Stanford's gonna come on top. Now,
yeah.
Do I think that Dudley was really running through Stanford a bit, like single-handedly at times? I do, but I left the first half thinking, okay, I think Stanford's gonna win. We got ourselves a match, but Stanford's gonna win, and I think that you got to give a shout out there to her because she put on a great performance in a really big moment, especially for a freshman.
Yeah, and I think also for her, had she not come up with 1 or 2 of those saves, Stanford would have won the national championship. Period.
Yeah.
And they weren't easy saves.
No.
There was great goalkeeping. So
yeah.
Well done, freshman. All right. That being said.
I wonder very few freshmen to get on the list at all. But that does bring us to the last group. I will say, sorry to see Fallon Tulls-Joyce not move on. And Georgetown as well as have some very good goalkeepers over the years. So
yeah.
That's not a bad group there, but
yeah.
I think Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State.
All right. Last group here, and then we'll take a look at the bracket and see who made it through. I think this one's a bit more even. We do have a TKI appearance at the very bottom there.
Yay! Villanova.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Let's see bias here. Watch Villanova go through. Whatever.
Well, David Crane's just about a 3-year pro there. So I think for me, it's USC or Wisconsin. And you want to talk about decades, like Wisconsin has had some very good goalkeepers over the years, but USC, I think, more recent. That's probably the 2 that.
Yeah, but look at the consistency with the Badgers. I mean, no disrespect to USC, which I think really, really great list as well too. Look at the years.
Yeah.
I
kind of
Actually, maybe it's about even. I don't know. Forgot Kaylee played at
Texas,
USC.
Abby Smith, Mia Justice. Damn. I'm having a hard time with this one. I think 16, 11, 19 to 20.
Heather Taggart, just interviewed her from your time, Sauce as well.
Yeah, I think if you look at the longevity, I think if you look from Heather Taggart to McKinney, I think you look at the decades and Wisconsin goes through.
Yeah, I'm going Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Well, that takes us to end of the first, and I guess technically second round, because we didn't do a round of 32 here. So let me go ahead and pull up the picture here. So all the 1 seeds go through, all the 2 seeds go through. George Mason kind of close there. But
Bill, is this what you did during your Thanksgiving break?
Yeah, honestly. I was having a blast. I love putting this together. It was fun. But yeah, we started seeing like a few upsets. I think what's our lowest seed? Michigan slipping through, which is kind of interesting. But I don't think, I mean, no offense, but I don't think we've lost a school that's like really in the argument of like top. I think there were some groups more.
It's okay. I'm not offended. It's okay.
I think as far as like the tier,
I think had I been in a different bracket, Rutgers would have gone through. That's all I'm saying.
I think there's probably, I don't know, at least a quarter, if not half of these.
Group of death.
It was a tough group, very tough group. I gave blue colors all around to that group because it did well. But I think it's a good stopping spot here. But I think we've got 16 schools down in the Sweet 16 here, and we can hash this out.
All right, let's get some viewer opinions after you watch the podcast, and I would love to know. Yes, and they might be all coming from the same IP address.
Yeah, hey, direct my way. That's on me. You know,
I'm calling all like a family right now.
Yeah.
Be like, guys,
She's got that alumni email on.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna do 99ers, and I'm gonna be like, guys, can you vote on something for me? Don't worry about what.
Sure, I'll just go ahead and flip in Rutgers here. We'll just put them into the.
Right on. All right, cool.
Awesome. Fun. So we will post this up online. We will get some viewer opinions, and then we will take it from there, being non-biased towards their opinions and still going with our own direction with it in part 2. So for all you guys who are wondering what our holiday plans are going to be, you got them. They're right here.
You found it.
Right. You found it. Before we go, a shout out to all you guys. You guys all have been doing fantastic work throughout the year in all your various different projects and stuff like that. Tori, what do you guys got going on in TKI? I know you guys got some camps coming up in the next month.
Yeah, lots going on over here on the East Coast. And then shortly after the new year on the West Coast, we're going to be in San Diego again in January. So if you're out there, join us. If you're over on the East Coast, we got plenty of clinics and camps coming up all out through December. And if you're interested in joining TKIU, you got only a few more weeks to try to jump on with me or Cam. So check us out online or send us a DM on Instagram.
Sweet.
Love it. And Bill, anything you want to plug?
Man, I'm just working on spreadsheets over here in the off season. So that's the only thing the one spreadsheet I've just seen. That's one of many. So that's the only thing I got to plug. But I think if Sas gets through her what is the
Orange Theory?
You might find it for
I'm almost through it. But then there's some other challenge. So I'm all into my Orange Theory. Right now in the off season, it's Orange Theory. And then looking forward to getting back at it with the U.S. Women's National Team, Westwood One, and NWSL.
Yeah, your break's not very long, Sus. You just go right back at it.
I'm not complaining.
Oh, fantastic! All right, guys, and if you want to check me out and you're listening to this in the past because this won't be recorded and edited in time for that, you can see me at Comedy in English tomorrow over here in the LA area. You can reach out to me at Michael Magid. Obviously, you can reach out to Tori at the Keeper Institute, Saskia at Saskia_Weber, and Bill Reno at It's Everybody Soccer.
Everybody Soccer, let's all soccer, and some other places. Yeah, you'll find me one way or another. It's fine.
Cool. All right, guys, that's all the time on Inside the 18, and we are out. Later,
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.